This is BS with Joe. News, culture, and crazy. One blunt conversation at a time. They say history is a set of lies we all agree on. I've known that since I was a kid, sitting in a classroom driving my teachers crazy because I wouldn't just take the book's word for it. To the victor go the spoils, they'd say. But they never told us that the spoils include the story itself. In 1929, it wasn't just a crash, it was a turning point. When fortunes were erased, power shifted, and a new version of history was written by the people who walked away richer than ever. Tonight, we're not just revisiting the Great Depression. We're peeling back the myth, the lie we all agreed on, to see what really happened when the bottom fell out. Everyone and their grandmother was in the market, and not just buying stocks, buying them on credit. This was installment America. Cars on time, radios on time, so why not stocks on time too? Margin meant you could put a little down and owe the rest. When prices dipped, the bill arrived instantly.
Here's the simple math. Buy 100 shares with $10 down and $90 on loan, and then 10% drop wipes out your equity. The lender doesn't negotiate. The margins clerk calls for cash or sell for you. Banks fed this with call loans, money due on demand, which meant rates jumped exceedingly when fear did.
Exactly. Underneath the party, the structure was glass. One crack in confidence and leverage would do the rest. That's the stage. A nation long on optimism and even longer on credit. Quick confession. What do I have in common with the 20th century? In our 20s, we both suffered a Great Depression.
It's a clever line, but it's also a map. Depression follows leverage, personal or financial. We're shown the leverage. Now watch what happens when the bill comes due.
Monday brings whispers. A big house looks light on cash, and a few banks start trimming credit. The ticker lags and phones jam. And what you don't know feels worse than bad news. By the afternoon, brokers raise margins and tell clients to post funds.
Tuesday,
not every scandal has a smoking gun. Some just have open doors, the kind that never close. They just keep spinning. Washington to Wall Street, Pentagon to boardroom, and back again.
it's not conspiracy, it's continuity. The same people, the same meetings, new titles, new checks.
This is BS with Joe. Today we're talking about the revolving door, how power in Washington turns war into business and business back into policy. It started with good intentions. World War II turned America into the arsenal of democracy. Factories retooled overnight. Cars became tanks. Sewing machines became rifles.
When the war ended, production didn't. The machinery of defense became the machinery of profit. And the people who built weapons for survival discovered that peace wasn't profitable.
By the 1950s, defense contracting was a permanent industry. Eisenhower, the general turned president, saw it coming. He called it the military-industrial complex.
His warning wasn't about patriotism, it was about power. That defense industry, government, and universities could become self-perpetuating loops where war planning becomes economic planning.
From there, the procurement system evolved into a labyrinth. Prime contractors, subcontractors, cost-plus contracts, lobbying firms, every layer added another reason the door had to stay open. Fast forward to the 1990s, Vice President Dick Cheney's name became synonymous with one word, Halliburton. But before that, he was Secretary of Defense under George H.W. Bush.
He awarded contracts to private firms to handle logistics, housing, fuel, everything military used to do itself. Then when he left office, he became a CEO of Halliburton, one of those very firms.
That's the revolving door in its purest form. Policy becomes profit, and profit in turn funds more policy.
The Logistics Civil Argumentation Program changed everything and allowed private contractor corporations to manage military supply chains under open-ended cost-plus contracts. And the more they spent, the more they earned.
During the Iraq War, Halliburton's subsidiary KBR received billions. Audits found double billing, missing fuel, and no bid extensions, yet no one faced serious prosecution.
Congressional hearings called it war profiteering, but by then the contracts were baked in, signed years earlier when the same people ran the Pentagon.
You could draw a straight line between the Situation Room and the stockroom, and somewhere along that line, accountability disappeared. Today, it's not just defense. The revolving door spins through every industry that touches power: energy, tech, healthcare, finance.
Former Pentagon officials now sit on boards of drone manufacturers. Ex-FDA regulatories join pharmaceutical giants weeks after leaving office. Cybersecurity advisors join social media firms that once resisted regulations.
It's bipartisan, institutional, and normalized. Democrats, Republicans, it doesn't matter. They may argue in front of the cameras, but the resumes look the same.
In 2023, Watchdog Report found over half of the top 100 defense officials since 9/11 left working from contracts that they once oversaw. And nearly every cabinet level agency now maintains an ethics waiver, proceeds to fast track private employment.
That means you can regulate a company today and collect a paycheck from them 6 months later, legally.
Campaign donations seal the loop. Contractors give millions to both parties. The winner always owe someone, and the losers get hired anyway.
So the system isn't broken. It's operating exactly as designed, as a career pipeline. The price of this door isn't just money, it's trust. When insiders profit from policy, every decision looks like a deal.
Taxpayers foot the bill, trillions spend that could rebuild bridges or fund healthcare, flows instead into overlapping programs, private consultations, and strategic innovations that rarely deliver.
Meanwhile, oversight offices are underfunded. Inspectors general warn about conflicts of interest, but their recommendations die in committee. You can't expect a system to fix itself when fixing it means closing the door it walks through.
The moral question remains: where does the service end and the profit begin? Can nation build on public trust survive a government ran like a franchise?
Maybe the door never closes because too many people have keys. Maybe it's not about corruption. Maybe it's inertia. A machine that keeps spinning because no one wants to stop it.
Eisenhower's warning wasn't about ending defense. It was about balance. He knew what happens when power becomes routine and the patriotism and profit sound the same.
If you've ever wondered why the same names keep coming back, the answer is simple. They never left.
Keep it turning.
This is BS with Joe. Stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, sometimes the quietest scandals are the most expensive ones.
They should be the loudest.